In this video, we're going to look at how to program a stepper motor. Now, there is a default library that's part of the Arduino IDE. However, you can only do one stepper motor for that. So we need to go find a library that's going to let us do two stepper motors. So I'm going to go Tools, and we're going to go to Manage Libraries. And what I'm looking for is the ASIL stepper. So we got to write out the whole thing. It should come up. You can see I've already installed it. You're going to click on that button, and that's it. Now for me, my bar is stuck here. So I'm going to go Tools, and I'm going to have to click Manage Libraries to close it again, depending on the version of IDE that you have. It may also just be a pop-up box. The first thing I'm going to do is actually include that library into my sketch. So I have those tools available to me. So I'm going to go hashtag include, and we're looking for the ASIL stepper.h. The stepper motor requires 4 different pins to control it. Don't worry, the tool set does most of the work for you. However, if we're going to have 2 or 3 stepper motors attached, it's going to get a bit messy. So we're going to want to make some variables. So I'm just going to call this motor 1. And I'm going to start making some variables to hold it. So I'm going to call it in1. And for me, I put it into pin 8. We can also do in2, which is pin 9, in3, which I'll make into pin 10, and finally in4, which I put into 11. Now your pins don't have to match me, but what they do have to match is whatever you put into the driver. Because the next step we have to do is actually make the object that's going to do all the work for us. So it's an ASIL stepper. Now we can name it. So I'm going to call this stepper 1. And it's looking for some different things. First, we have to tell it how many wires to expect. So I'm going to say that is an ASIL stepper. And we're looking for the full 4-wire version. And now it's going to ask, where are those 4 wires that I can use to control? And it expects them in the order of in1, in2, in3, in 4. So in1, in2, in3, and in 4. Now at this moment, I'm just going to verify to make sure I haven't made a little typo anywhere, that my library is actually working. All these variables have been entered here, and it looks like we're good. So we've done the hard part. Now we can start setting what the speed and our acceleration is going to be. Now we don't want to run the motor too fast, so we are going to want to set some type of speed. So we're going to go stepper 1 dot set max speed. And I think 1,000 is pretty appropriate here. It will just stall out if it doesn't have enough torque to actually pull or do whatever it's happening to do. The second is our acceleration, same thing. We don't need to be too fast. So I'm going to set the acceleration to be 500. And now all the setup parts are done. To run the motor now, I'm going to go stepper 1 and then dot set speed. Now note this is not the same as actually my max speed. This is saying what speed should I run now? And I'm going to set that speed to 500. So that should go forwards. And that shouldn't do anything by itself. So I'm going to have to go stepper 1 dot run, which makes a lot of sense. Run the motor. The one problem is it doesn't really like when you put delays in. So using this dot run to make it go forward is great for what we want to do in class right now. There are ways to make it go to a certain position. You can go and look at the library for that. But when I'm using run, delays aren't a great thing. It will automatically accelerate using our acceleration that we gave it. So it does most of the hard work for us. With that said, that's it. The motor runs. Now you have to be able to control it. So you might use a button or a joystick. So maybe if the joystick is up, then we're going to want to go forward. And maybe if the joystick is down, we can write the same code. So I'll just copy it. But the only difference is it's going to be a negative 500. It's going backwards. And with that, you have everything you need to run a stepper motor.